This is an interview for peep-Magazine. We're joined with a very talented Gwen Brinton, in my opinion, one of the best documentary photographers in North England. We're very pleased to have her on the channel. She doesn't really do interviews. We're graced with her presence today. So, Gwen, thank you so much for joining the Peep platform in person.
Peep's great, Cliff. Peep's great. Thank you for interviewing me, because I'm just Peep great. People are amazing. They've helped. For me, they've helped. It's a great platform. Yeah.
Thanks, Gwen. For the people who don't know, Gwen's been contributing to Peep from day one. I think you contributed to issue 2, and then we kind of lost touch for maybe a couple of years. I got into the boxing scene, and then Gwen has actually came back now with a new, not a new style, but new work, new narratives, and she's going to be, she's heavily profiled in the last issue, localism issue, and her work's going to be in this issue also, which is all city. So you're going to see a lot more Gwen's work going forward. So you're kind of part of the team now. So
yeah, it's great.
I just want to start with, how did it all start? You got into photography with the encouragement of a parent, and then so tell us how did your photography journey begin?
Okay, so I started off at school, Cliff. Started off photography. Got a Pentax K1000 35mm camera, GTS,
yeah.
And then it started like that. Taking photos of friends, and then going from school, taking a trip to go and see art exhibitions in London, like 16, and then shooting like that, but it's a difficult road.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're both in a similar spot with in the past, like working with a camera and getting commissions and all the rest of it. But you wanted to be a photojournalist, but you kind of explained that you kind of found it too unforgiving.
Yeah, I tried I was trying to do things on my own, I wanted to, because I went to London. It was the first where I went to, where did I go? London uni. I tried, I was at Camberwell for a bit, and so I to go to send my stuff to the South London Press and to get advice, to show a portfolio around. To no avail, and but that's what I wanted to do, Cliff, which was photojournalism, and go and kind of, I think I was on my own journey. I've always been on my own path with that, and finding my own stories, really, through searching for my own kind of stories through that, basically, and my own experiences. So then I just started documenting my surroundings, basically, where I was at the time. So that's what I documented. Basically. And then I still do. That's, where I am, what situations are happening, and the experiences that are going on. I would try and document it. And that's with meeting people and hearing their stories. But that's what I think I saw photojournalism was, Cliff, really, is finding those stories of people, and feeling a connection, and almost like that editorial style of shooting something like a film stills. You'd shoot it for like a film, like a narrative of a film, that sort of thing. So that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do, mate. But
yeah, man, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, you told us about maybe a little story about when you were anticipating to become a photojournalist, that you seen a guy photographing a child and the child was crying. Did that stick in your mind? Because you talked about something like that.
Oh, yeah. So that was difficult for me, because that was like, it was cutthroat. I thought it was a really cutthroat like thing, because it was like a local newspaper, and this kid he was about 13, and he'd kind of committed arson. And he was with his dad, and he was going to court. Mm-hmm. And then the photographer ran up, was putting a camera in the kid's face to get that photo of him.
Yeah.
And that switched me off it, because I had more empathy with that kid who was crying and not wanting that invasion of a camera in his face. Mm-hmm. So the guy took the photo, and then took the camera. It film at the time, so he took the film out and gave it to me. Said, "Right, run back to the newspaper with this." So I took the film back, ran back, and just thought, "No, this isn't." Because I saw the dad was like, "Get that out of my kid's face," and because I knew that what would happen is that photo will sit somewhere, and that kid does something when he's 16, 18. That photo will be like, he did this when he was 13 years old, so he will get, it's that kind of getting dirt on people, which I didn't like. So it wasn't for me,
Got you.
I wasn't I had more empathy with that kid who made that mistake for whatever reason. He was going to court, but I didn't feel comfortable with the photographer, and I think it was just wasn't the environment for me.
Yeah. It's almost like the photographer becomes desensitized to the subject, to the surroundings, and I can kind of empathize with that also, because I've documented quite a lot of stuff in the past as well, and especially when you do MMA stuff and boxing, and you're that close to fighters, you're more or less in the ring with them, and then you're seeing them getting hurt, getting bashed in the face, getting the nose popped, getting the eyes closed, getting in headlocks, getting knocked out, and you're on top of trying to photograph, and that just like you say, that's not for everyone. No. And then there's been many a times when I've been at ringside, and there's blood just came straight across my camera, and then I've took my camera away, and I've got a line of blood from my forehead to my chin, and there's a gap where my camera was, and there's wiping blood off the lens. But I totally get it. It's not for everybody, but so yeah. It's not for everyone, but there's a style for everyone, and I absolutely love your style.
Definitely.
So you were at Camberwell Arts. Where's Camberwell Arts?
So that's like Peckham.
London, right? Got you.
Yeah, South London, Peckham. That's where I went. And I went there for a year. Was doing photography there for a year. Sorry, Cliff.
And then so what happened there? Did you come out of it because you weren't feeling the course, or you felt like you want to do something else, Gwen?
Yeah, so at the time, I was having difficulties, as many people, will be able to understand, university and the stresses, and feeling like you, if the other factors are going on in your environment and they play a part significantly in your personal life, that you might find it difficult to be able to carry on trying to connect with something like university. And that's what happened for me. It was I had experiences that happened that I couldn't process, and I couldn't basically carry on with the course. So I left and made a decision to go somewhere else and change my environment, and I regret it to this day, though. There's lots of regrets, people have them, and that is human to have those, you know.
And then you ended up because your path kind of took you, but I mean you were still doing work. It's not like you come away from university and put the camera down. You were still working, you were still looking for opportunities, still, as a photographer does, you know. And then you ended up working in a pub, and you ended up doing some of these shots behind, because I definitely recognise some of these shots behind you. Not the ones with the boys, the ones just outshot. But I'm going to throw these up, Gwen, on the screen.
Nice.
So, could you maybe talk about some of the people you met in that? Was it Greyhound pub or something like that?
The Greyhound pub, which is an Irish pub in South London. And, so I went in there. It was cheap rent. 40 quid a week, lived in South London, so moved in there, worked there part-time, and I photographed the locals in there. And so behind me, I put this one up, like Morris Tate. I put him up. He's there.
Got you.
Earl Morris Tate.
Wow, nice shot.
Yeah, what a character.
Did he was also a photographer, Gwen?
Yeah, he was a really great photographer. In the 1970s, he photographed the Rolling Stones. He did the Led Zeppelin front cover, the one with the space helmets on. He was a tinter. Wow. So he did those. He worked with those rock bands. He photographed Marianne Faithfull. And he was, he was in there day in, day out, drinking cider, day in, day out. Wow. Morris was there. Yeah. So I met Morris at that time, or Maurice Tate. I met him when I was working there, and he would come in with his partner, and she would always be there, and they'd be drinking. They were drinkers.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then was this kind of developing your kind of documentary photography style, because you were obviously chatting to these people, and is this where you came up with the idea of not only taking photos but documenting the story a bit and coming up with narratives about their life? And because I really like your observations when you send the photography in, you always come with these observations and these little stories, like snippets of life. Is this where you got that from, chatting to people in the pubs and whatnot? Yeah,
I've always had that. Yeah, chatting with people. I think in university, I was staging stuff at that. I think at the end just before I left, and but I was always interested in the street photography and these. Kind of surprises that happen when you're, on the street with your camera and capturing people, and so I started to capture these guys, and it definitely, I started meeting them, hearing their stories and about their lives, and that. I felt a connection, Cliff, with them. So connection with people, but these guys, there were lots of different characters. There's a guy called Eric who was dry cleaner. He'd come in, he'd do the dry cleaning for everyone. It was a real community of people in there. But Morris, great musician, really great, and. Wow. Brilliant musician, brilliant photographer, but quite a lost soul, actually. Yeah. Quite a soul.
You kind of get that a lot with creatives, and I think you were saying last night that you watched one of my previous interviews with my old lecturer, Robert Jefferson.
Yeah, what a great guy. That's great interview. Yeah.
It's absolutely cool as. And he kind of talks about creatives being sensitive people, sensitive souls. It just depends how you take that. Not crying all over the place, but sensitive to your environment.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key to it. Because some people aren't in tune with the surroundings and I mean, I walk with people. I go out with people, and then I'll walk into a building. I'll get a funny vibe of this and that. Then I'll look around and I'll say, "Oh, that's a photograph right there." But people are just blind to this stuff because maybe they're thinking of other things and they've got like other priorities. But I think this is what Robert Jeffson's trying to say, that obviously lots of people are creatives, but there's levels of creativity. I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah.
And I think high level creatives are more in tune, more sensitive to their environment than maybe someone just doing it in the pastime, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then how did it come about that? Because, I mean, I've got all this inside information that I've tracked I've tracked your history, you see, like probably the last probably the last just under 10 years or so. How did you make the connection to have this like exclusive opportunity to go to that Maidstone night spot? Elaborate on that, Gwen, please.
Yeah, they were. So there was. So in the Greyhound, because I was in there all the time. I think they saw my camera, me taking photos, a bit of a novelty. They liked it. People liked me taking their picture. So the guys that would come in there, they would basically, they would like me to do it. They'd be like, "Yeah, take a picture of us having a drink," you know, and they'd help me to get my photos kind of printed. And there was a guy who came in, and he was another regular, and I think it's okay to say his name because of he's been in the public realm now, in a way. So I can say his, I probably can.
Yes, his name.
It's kind of Lawrence Gibbons. That's his name, and he was a renowned kind of guy, notorious guys to come in. And then one evening or one day, he said he had a job working as a security guy in this Maidstone kind of working man's bar, kind of strip bar dancers, and they wanted to know because he knew that I had my camera around. I guess he told the guys that he was working for that he knew someone who could take some glamour shots for the girls, and so he asked me if I wanted to do it and go take some glamour shots. Cliff, I don't know what glamour shots are. I just like. I
kind of get the impression they were thinking more a different kind of glamour, but what they got was the Gwen Brinton.
Yeah, they got this
documentary style, fly on the wall, no frills.
Yeah, and I even printed them out for him to give and put them in an envelope to give to them, and but they were documentary. Quite raw shots, really.
Yeah,
of them.
Definitely.
So I went there with him for the evening. He was a gentleman, and he looked after me. He made sure I was all right at all times, checking in. Are you all right? I was like, yep. And then he drove me there. It was a place. It was off the road. It was off the beaten track. It wasn't. It was you drive into Maidstone, and it was just off the road. And that's where this place was. So.
Got you. I'm still listening, Gwen. I'm still listening.
Yeah, no worries. And it was a kind of intense environment to be in.
Yeah. Talk us through like what was it like in there? Was it as seedy as it
very
looks?
Quiet.
Very quiet. Was there any music going on?
Maybe a Saturday night. It wasn't like a Peter Stringfellow's glossy, loads of people. No, this was like
hardcore.
Yeah, it wasn't like
Hardcore, I'm coming here to see strippers. This
Yeah.
is, I don't want music, I'm just intensely looking at women, yeah.
Yeah,
It's got that kind of
no
vibe.
far quieter than that. It was sort of like, you know, there were the dancers there. The guys would pay them to play a song, so they'd play a song on a CD player and dance to it for them, and then I guess if the guys wanted extras, then they would go somewhere else with them. There weren't many dancers on. It's probably only because of the images that there was only about 4 girls.
I thought I was going to say about 4 girls, yeah.
Yeah, and the guys in there, and I was just, kind of meeting the girls, meeting them on their fag breaks, you know.
What were the girls like, Gwen? Because there's a lady on there with really like striking eyes. Yeah. Like piercing eyes, go straight through you.
Yeah, she's the one with the blonde hair. She's got blonde hair, long blondish hair, and almost had that kind of. Because when I look back at those pictures now, I was young when I was taking them, and they kind of looked kind of young girls, really. They were, I don't know, kind of even how old they were. But she was. Her name was Sam. I think her name was Sam. And she had a sister who was with her while she was doing the dancing, and the sister was, probably my age now, and she wanted to be up there. She wanted to be doing the dancing, but she said to me, "I'm too old to do it." So she was sitting at the bar. I remember we just did this off-key, quick. A few photos of her as well, and but she was they were, I think they were a bit kind of probably expecting a big flashy camera and stuff like that, and they didn't, I didn't go in with that. I went in with this kind of 35mm flash film, and I would just take photos of them in action, like doing their thing, dancing. That was, I think her name was Sam, and Rio was the other girl.
Rio, yes, that's the one I remember as well.
Rio, who had this real wide-eyed glaze look.
I think that's who I was thinking about.
You think about Rio, with the brown hair, kind of, she had...
she looked quite masculine, but quite feminine. She's got like a unique look.
Yeah. She was very restructured. Structured bones, I guess. All very kind of sort of not much on them really. And I think I was sort of, they when I look back at the pictures, they're very wide-eyed and probably quite, taking something to, I think, to get to be in that energy, in that environment.
Got you.
Go part and part with it.
So what was that? Just like a one night thing, Gwen? Did you just go there for the one night and then
come? One night. Yeah.
No rehearsal time. Just jump in the car, go take the shots, and then out.
Yeah,
man, it's cool.
Like hours in there, and then he drove me back, and he drove me back to the pub.
Wow. Yeah. So you went back to the pub, and then for your, as you explained, you escaped London.
I escaped it.
So why? Could you share with us why you felt the need to get out of London? Why did you escape? Oh, incidentally, were some of the Dogfish Sandra sandals, were all these in that same place? So it's probably best to stick.
Yes, Sandra sandals were in Greyhound. That was Sandra. She used to come in. She would go out with a guy who was in there, and he'd kind of, and she had these broken sandals on, and she was going out with a guy. I forgot what was his name? Tony. Gone from my brain what his name was, but there's a picture of them together. Got a picture of them outside, and she'd just come in, have half a lager, kind of and go out, and then Dogfish is South London.
Yeah.
On the just on the street. That's a kind of off the cuff. Meet this guy, have a chat to him, and then say, can I take your picture? That sort of thing,
What kind of guy? He looks like a character and a half. So did you just walk up to him and just say, "Yeah, can I take a shot?" And then he was accommodating, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of meet someone, catch their eye, and then maybe there's an engagement there. You engage for some time, you have a chat, and then it's that sort of wanting to, make a moment of it. Take that snapshot. And he was cool with that. He posing, on the lamppost, and that was great. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And then you've got Picking the Best.
Who's that?
Picking the Best.
What's Picking the Best?
Or did I call it Picking the Best? I'm sure I didn't. I think we'll come to an arrangement. We would call it Picking the Best.
Okay.
You're walking past what looks like a store selling fruit and veg in a multi-store, and there's an old lady bending over.
So that was at uni. That was Camberwell.
Right.
Yeah, that was when I was there, and I was doing the street shots, and she was amazing, and she was that was Peckham High Street, and she was there, and that was before. That was when I was at uni, and I took that photo of her bending down. I just saw her. When you said you're there, and there's that moment, and there it was, and so I just took that, and but I wanted that to be kind of empathic, sort of, but quite a humorous shot maybe, humour in that, but not a bit of kindness hopefully.
And then there's also, I'm just going to go through your shots, Gwen, because not all of them, obviously, but I'm going to be throwing some of these up as we're chatting about them, you see. And we've got portrait of Tim. And then I think I may have two images on there. One's Root Canal. Or is it the same image?
Root Canal, yeah. So I went with Tim. He was a guy, again, guy who came to the pub. These people drank a lot. Tim drank a lot, and so I wanted to document him and that kind of journey with alcohol, I think, and that was the theme. That was the theme for all of those portraits. Connecting theme that joins them, which is kind of alcohol, and Tim was going to the dentist, and so I went with Tim with his root canal, and so I kind of followed him, and I would go with him. I was like his personal photographer.
Wow.
With a camera while he was having root canal. Yeah, and but the picture with him, because he'd fallen over and he'd broken his foot because he was, something had happened. He'd kind of he'd been pissed and fallen over, and so there's one with his foot where he's got some kind of big bandage on it, and but there was that shot with feet, which was that kind of like Diane Arbus when she had that photo of the people in the morgue, a photo of kind of those kind of dead feet,
right, yeah.
And then I looked at Tim's and kind of took a picture of his feet. Got you.
Yeah, because I think we talked off camera about a photographer who we both like, Richard Avedon. Yeah. And then he went to take. We're talking back in the 60s now. He went to a mental institution, and he got full access. It was unheard of for a photographer to go in. But I think he got full access, and it was Richard Avedon. Obviously you can't see it now, Gwen, but I put the book up, Evidence 1944 to 1994, Richard Avedon, and I got that book when I was about 16.
Wow.
And then a friend of mine acquired the book. I'm just going to say that, Gwen. I acquired the book. because I was browsing through the book and I thought, I need this book. And no one around here is going to need it more than me. But I didn't steal the book from a shop or anything. It was, let's say, it was more of a creative environment. I didn't steal it from a person either. I stole it from an institution. We'll just leave it there because And then I was browsing through the book and I thought, I need this book. And then I would keep going back to the library and I was like, I need this book. And Richard Avedon, absolutely love his work, and I think he's helped me really go over that line, because I think there's a sense of, there's a lot of photographers, and you might agree with us on this, Gwen, where some of them have got an imaginary line that they won't cross. Like there's an imaginary line there somewhere, and they don't go into that space because they either haven't got the confidence, or they're not fully committed to the shot, or they're just scared, just scared that the subject will say, like, be rude to them or say what you're doing or rip the camera off. And then he kind of taught me to go beyond that line. And then if you look at any of my shots, my early shots, I'm not afraid to go right up to people, like put the camera like right in someone's face. And I got that from Richard Avedon. And my friend spoke to us maybe a year ago now and says that book is worth absolute fortunes now. So I'm not going to sell it, but you'll see it when you watch this back. When you'll, I might even get it off the shelf and just like show the camera, because it's amazing work in there. So you come away from the pub and then you made a move to Nottingham, and you went to Nottingham University and wanted to study fine art. Was this still fine art as in photography, Gwen, or painting and drawing fine art?
Yeah, so this was like fine art, could be anything, do anything, because it's, it's a conceptual fine art course degree. So you could do anything if you could explain it and explain what it is that you're doing, and you contextualise it. You do anything, that sort of thing. So Martin Creed or something, and he.
With the blue tack. I was going to mention that, but I thought, I'll not bother mentioning it. And he's looking like pondering the blue tack, and he's putting it. And then what I liked about that is he placed the blue tack, and then he come away from it, and I'm sure he was dying to laugh, because he had this one finger on his mouth like this, and then people were looking at him, looking at the blue tack, looking at him, and then he pondered. He went over to the blue tack, picked it off, put it down a little bit, then what? I thought, you're taking the piss, mate.
Oh, mate, so that's it. That's where I went. I think it was, wrong time, wrong. Great university. Again, like one of my great all-time favourite photographers, Nick Waplington, went to Nottingham Trent Uni. He did photography, he was documentary stuff. But Nottingham Trent, it is what it is. That's where I went. Yeah. It was a reason. It was a way to go from city to city. It wasn't free anymore. So there was a student loan. It was a way to go. Which isn't what you should look at, really.
Yeah.
Probably. But yeah.
So you kind of didn't. You didn't feel it was right for you, and you. I mean, I'm sure you're not going to mind me saying this, Gwen, but you felt kind of that like nothing made sense.
Yeah,
when you were doing that course.
I couldn't contextualise things. I couldn't. Wasn't attending lectures. I couldn't put myself into any work, because the thing is, it was about finding your voice, and I think to some degree I'd found a voice. probably in London I found a kind of voice, but I still couldn't contextualise things because I couldn't put myself into it. Cliff, I couldn't be subjective because I was lost at that point, completely lost in in relationships, in my environment, it lost in distractions, finding addictions, and I want to move. Yeah, so that's what happened, Cliff, in Nottingham. Real shame, because Nottingham's a great city, really great for film, and I love film. And the lectures were in the theatre, in the cinema, and got Shane Meadows in there, one of my favourite filmmakers in the world, and in the Midlands, brilliant place for film, independent film, brilliant. But I couldn't connect with where I was, kind of thing. Move. Get my dog.
Yeah.
Move this way. Yeah.
Yeah, you talk about a relationship. Was this Polaroid tone? Did I have anything? Am I on the right track there, Gwen?
With what, sorry?
Polaroid tone from Peep.
What? Who's that? Sorry.
Yeah, that's yours.
Yeah, Polaroid. Yeah. So that was the relationship, and I couldn't. I felt really like all of the photography. There is such a personal connection. What I'm looking at, there's a connection, and I couldn't be honest about things in a way because I was completely lost. I couldn't be honest how I felt, and I was experiencing depression, and the torn Polaroid. Yeah. Is of her, and it was bad, not good.
Do you want to talk about that, Gwen, or shall we move on?
Yeah, I don't mind, mate. I don't mind. I'm an open book. That's okay. I can't think of the words now because wait a second. Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Can you see this, Gwen?
Yes.
I'm gonna send you one of these. It's like I've been meaning to send you one for ages.
It's really good on the
This is the latest issue of Peep, but we're kind of working on one at the moment, which Gwen is again heavily featured. But Gwen contributed to this issue. I'll put this up there and this one there. I'm just showing this for the camera, Gwen.
Yeah.
So can you see that? And then I'm going to send you one of these, man. No problem.
Oh, that'd be great, mate.
So
it looks great.
It looks absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And then this is if anyone wants to check this out, go to issue.com, type in peep-magazine.co.uk, and it's the latest issue, localism issue 19. So, or head over to www.peep.Ltd. You can get it all from there. I'm just trying to look at this image, Gwen, because it's pretty well worth chatting about this. I should have had them bookmarked, Gwen, but
nice, that's okay.
I'm not that organised. I think I've passed it. Yeah, but when you get a copy of this, Gwen, there's Dogfish.
Yeah.
So it's got at the bottom a slow DRE, a slow Dre. So we've got
Dream. Yeah.
Dream, got you. So dirty Polaroid reflecting time when my own mental health was taking a turn for the worst. I was trapped in a loveless relationship going nowhere, torn between madness and creativity. And her body was just a body. I'm only going to say that, Gwen, because I want people to go out and have a look at this themselves instead of me just reading all your work out. But so yeah, man. I mean, absolutely love that shot. Absolutely love that page. And could you maybe expand on this Polaroid face tone, Gwen?
Yes, so
Please.
actually the hand in the middle of that is as if one of the dancers from London, and I'd put that together with it. You know, to be fair to us both, we were both completely lost, Cliff. It was, you know, my kind of the person that I was seeing at the time was going through their own awful stuff, I think, and we were trapped, and you get trapped into these relationships.
Mm-hmm.
To be really mindful of them now, you know, because we were both having issues with our mental health for sure, and for me, I just couldn't connect. Just wells of depression, and finding it very difficult to then go to uni, and
so the relationship had an impact on your work, on
always
doing work. Yeah,
it's always had an impact. Like relationships have always had an impact on my work. Always personal things, personal connections to friends, family, relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And that would, it would have been. I just couldn't then contextualise my mental health, where I was with that, because I was stuck in something that was really immersive, kind of immersive within that, that relationship. So it was, you know, not good. And what happened to that person, you know, she's had some experiences of her own that have been very difficult for her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they were always kind of looking for love, basically, I think, and looking for just to be that connection with someone. But it's
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be mindful of them.
Oh yeah, definitely. You've
the wrong way.
Yeah, you've got to protect your own mental health, and then you've got to watch for people who are who kind of leech off you, like who become human leeches to just that absorb your energy, that steal your talent. Try to, and they just kind of get in your way, you know, and then if you're not careful, they will try and consume you.
Yeah.
You know, the one, you know, you've got to be really careful of these parasites, and I've met a few myself. I'm not going to say who they were, but there's no point, you know, because there's absolutely no point in talking about them. They're a complete waste of time, you know. But you've got to really watch for these people that, you know, destroy your creativity, and just become obsessed with you, and they'll try and consume you. They'll try and consume your creativity, you know.
Yeah, I think I'm a real kind of hanger-on, Cliff. I'm like, you know, I can hang on.
Death grip.
Wait till I'm kind of that person, just, you know, run away. But it's like hang on to something till I die, and then, you know, there's no point in that.
No.
The point in that is you've got to, just be really protect your creativity, protect what it is that is, you know, what makes you your individual way of seeing the world, and if something is, if it's not working, it's not working. Just,
you can't make and mend, you know. Like sometimes a friend of mine told me that what his uncle said, or his dad, it's like when you meet somebody in a relationship, it's the analogy of throwing a pebble in the water, then it makes waves going out.
Yeah.
And then those will never happen again. It's a one-off thing. And it's trying to, if the relationship breaks down, you try and recapture the relationship and you try and throw that pebble back in the same place. It's never going to be the same. And then the old fears start creeping back. The old fears of why you left them in the first place start creeping up. And then, it's like, what am I pretending not to see?
Yeah.
What am I pretending not to see? And I think if everyone takes that on board, if they ever, I'm going to give everyone a bit of advice now, Gwen.
Yeah, do it. Listen to this.
And
everyone listen to this.
Well, it's just a one-liner, really. And I didn't make it up. I actually got it from someone, but I won't say the name because people will just go, ah. But whenever you're in a situation, just ask yourself, is it right or wrong to be here or doing this? And then if someone's not making you feel great, and then you just ask yourself, what am I pretending not to see? Because people pretend not to see a lot of things. I feel, and then just call it out, and then what you can apply this to like life, really, I think. But we're talking about relationships and kind of work now, creative work, and just basically don't lie to yourself. Do you know what I mean, Gwen?
Yeah. Thanks.
So what?
For that relationship advice, Cliff.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, I'm probably the worst person to give anyone relationship advice, but there you go. It's always the best advice always comes from the wrong people. Have you noticed that, Gwen? But Gwen, we're going to break it up. Like what I always do about this time is there's a young Gwen Brinton. She's about 15, 16. She's sitting on a bed. She's looking up at her walls. What posters have you got up on your walls?
Don't be too quick to fall in love.
Right, posters on the walls, Cliff. Definitely Nirvana was there. Nirvana was up there. Grunge, mate. I'm a grunge kid.
Right.
So, yeah, those posters. Not many posters, Nirvana, but I was drawing on my walls, Cliff.
Right.
Yeah, 15. I was with scribble things.
Yeah.
On, yeah.
So basically, Nirvana.
Nirvana, yeah.
Yeah, Nirvana. We can sort that out.
Yeah.
Yes, going. So kind of bringing it a bit up to date now, Gwen. With you were stuck in a no end situation with this dead relationship. You were struggling finding your feet with Nottingham University. And then, if by chance peep-Magazine was brought into your vision.
I know, yes.
Yeah, so things are meant to happen, you see. So I'm really keen on hearing this little story, how you got to know peep-Magazine or how you became aware of it. And yeah, man.
So peep-Magazine, because on the Nottingham Trent Uni, they set up a kind of website called Culture Gen. And then tutors would be uploading links to things that would be beneficial for students. So one of the tutors put up the link to Peep, and I thought, what's this? What is this? And it was like, I thought, yeah, I'll just, because I was trying to submit stuff to places. And so she had put a link up to Peep. And then, and that's how I met Peep, through that link at uni, which was the reason to go to uni. To find Peep.
Exactly. So these things happen for a reason.
Yeah, they do. Everything happens for a reason, I think.
And who was the lecturer, Gwen? Because we like to say.
That's Joanne Lee, bless her. Joanne Lee. So Joanne Lee was a lecturer at Nottingham Trent Uni, and she's now in Sheffield. And she set up the link for Peep, just finding Joanne Lee's publication called basically Pamphlet Press, which is her independent. It's an independent serial exploring the aesthetics of everyday. And I actually at university I wasn't looking at anything, and it's only when I came away from that institution that's when I started looking at Joanne Lee's stuff, reading her work and what she'd written, and gratefully regret just not taking up those opportunities of getting to know the tutors and their experiences and their wisdom that they were giving to students, you know. So, but yeah, she's and so Joanne Lee, Pamphlet Press.
Yeah,
well, get her out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Joanne Lee, is it, Gwen?
Joanne Lee.
Joanne Lee.
Joanne Lee.
Yeah.
L-E-E.
Yeah, Joanne Lee. If you're watching this, thanks so much, because you brought an explosion together. What happens when an unstoppable force hits an immovable object? Boom! Explosions. Creative explosions happen. So thanks, Joanne Lee, for putting this this in place. Really, so it's absolutely brilliant. And you sent, I think, back when this would have been contributing to like issue 3 or issue 2, and then your contributions was I remember the Cray twins with the stamps and stuff like this.
Oh yeah. I was kind of making stuff like that, making stuff with my stamps and trying to, make works with the Cray stamps. Put stamps in their eyes.
That's the one I'm going to flash these up as well.
Yeah.
And there was like kind of like 40s dancers like in a street or something like that, like 40s 50s style.
Like monoprints, Cliff. There might be monoprints, maybe, I don't know, because I was doing lots of monoprints at the time in the art studio, and I was monoprinting and then sticking stamps. And head up to Nottingham, really, because the stamps came from the Hopkinson's Gallery. It was a became collaborative idea with the stamps, and did some work with those. Made some kind of murals, like collages, not murals, like did some collage out of stamps. Made Amy Winehouse portraits, and the Queen. Joanne Lee came and saw my studio at the time and saw that I was making things with stamps, and I was drawing life models and kind of stamping them, making out of stamps, making kind of my paintings out of stamps, because they were loads of colours, almost like a palette. And she came and saw that I'd done a kind of life model out of stamps, and she thought it was Princess Margaret. I thought that's funny, you know. She's Princess Margaret naked, stamp portrait. It's like,
Oh yes, I remember the one you mean now. I think her eyes were blacked out as well, if I remember correct.
She had there were these kind of special stamps that had eyes, specific eyes on them, and I bought this guy's collection of stamps, and he kind of sold them to me for like £100.
Right.
But and then I bought they were just shoe boxes of all these stamps, and he had these eye ones, and they and I used those literally as the eyes.
Wow, cool, man. Gwen, I'm just gonna refer back to I'm gonna refer back to this magazine, because I quite like this guy. Can you see this guy?
Yeah, that was from the Iraq War, marching against it. And he was. And I was scratching stuff out at that point.
Yeah, what's that process?
Yeah, exploring like the original. Obviously, the negative is not scratched. No way would I scratch a negative, but I was scratching the prints. And trying to draw onto the print, so making that sort of taking the photographic image and drawing onto it.
Yeah.
Scratching it out.
This is a cool one as well. Exit from London, the original photograph. Sorry.
Yeah. Exit. Yeah. So that was she's not the original image of that. She isn't. She doesn't have that.
Like Joker-esque look.
Yeah, she doesn't have the Joker-esque look, but she has got those lips that are surgically enhanced.
Got you.
Yeah, that's one of my good ones that I shot.
I mean,
two women on a tube. They don't know each other. And she was sitting there, and I just managed to get a shot of her, but she had this kind of surgically enhanced face, which I was noticed straight away, really striking. So there's that, that's really immediately striking. So I took a picture of her. Yeah, that was that. Yeah.
So we've got
lovely person outside the tube.
Immediately.
And very kind of open to photography, open to shot, open to pictures with like the people that I've met.
We've got I'm a big fan of charity shops, retro fashion, vintage t-shirts. This guy was a known rocker, admired his style and found it to be a comment on his style, creative an image within an image.
Yeah, that's the. That guy, I remember him, hopefully still in Nottingham, in a charity shop. And that, yeah.
I'm just quickly browsing through these, Gwen, but I think that's, man. So, could you talk about maybe who some of your influences are, other photographers, and what inspired you to like them, and could you maybe talk about some of the people that have inspired you,
Yeah, like when I was at university, when I was at Camberwell, I was in the library and I came across a book by Nick Watlington. So he is, I looked at his photos, I was immediately drawn to that, but like sort of personal photos of his surroundings and his environment, and they were kind of documentary shots. So that was a person who immediately I kind of just really inspired me, his stuff, and thinking of like Nat Goldin, her stuff, those that have Richard Billingham that we've talked about.
Billingham, we've got to talk about him.
Yeah, his stuff was like, really, that sort of thing, that kind of snapshot of reality, of your reality around you, that always got me. It was the personal element to photos, not the sort of, not the staged, the documenting a reality.
I mean, let's touch on Richard Billingham, because for the people who aren't aware of Richard's work, I think he got nominated for the Turner Prize. He was definitely in the top 3. I'm presuming this would have been about 2000, maybe earlier, maybe a bit later, but definitely around there, maybe 1999 or something like that, 98, 97, around there. And then his shots were, I mean, absolutely amazing. I mean, call him a photographer or artist. I mean, he was all encompassing with film, like social comment, photography. He's done so much work, but some of the parts of his work that I really liked and were what kind of inspired by were his father was an alcoholic, and he kind of, I mean, he must have only been in his 20s or something, just gone to university, or because I think he studied in Sunderland. That rings a bell, but I'm not too sure if that's correct. But and he kind of documented his father just getting drunk and in this like council flat, and I think this was about around the 80s, because it looked like 80s VHS style, and he kind of documented his dad just basically getting drunk and chatting to his dad, and he had about 3 or 4 dogs. You know them, the people have got 3 or 4 dogs and they're always drinking. There's just chaotic lifestyle, and he was just, I don't think there was much. There was a lot of narrative, of course, but there wasn't many. It was almost like the camera wasn't there. It's like his dad just played no mind to the camera. He must have been that used to his son just messing about with the camera that he kind of forgot about the camera, and he was like just chatting in bed and like being ill, and then hiding the drink away from his and then his mum, I think, had split up at this point. His mum lived in the block of flats across, I think, and his mum was coming over to cash his like social security, or whatever you call it, social insecurity, and then he documented this like argument, this like family life, just fly on the wall slice of life, and his mum was, I mean, what characters? I don't know how to explain his mum, but she was very forthcoming, very. How how would you explain his mum, Gwen?
Yeah,
heavily tattooed.
Yeah, poor Liz.
Liz, yeah. Ray and Liz.
Ray and Liz, great film that he made. If that book, Ray's a Laugh, Ray and Liz, and it's disturbing film to see of his family life. Very, very disturbing. I think Liz was always really supportive of Richard Billingham's photography, and really proud of him. I'm sure I've read that somewhere.
But she kind of had his dad kind of under control, didn't she?
Yeah.
So there was kind of a subtextual violent thing going on there, where his mum would basically bully his dad. That's the vibe I got anyway, and his dad would hide drink like away from her, and it was an obscure setup. There's always one thing I remember. His brother was blasting like rave music. Have you seen that bit, Gwen? Where he's absolutely blasting in the flat. He's like rave music's like bum 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 bum, like it's like going crazy, and he's like hunting around the flat like killing flies.
Oh, is this in the film?
Yeah, that's in the film.
Yeah, it's gone from my mind, but I've got it. I've seen it, but yeah, I can't remember that scene. I remember his uncle. Do you remember his uncle was a bit strange? His uncle or cousin. But yeah.
Have you actually seen the full Razor Laugh the movie?
No, I've got Ray and Liz. Ray and Liz the film.
Wow, how?
Ray and Liz.
I need to get this.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, was Razor Laugh the book?
Razor, yeah.
Gwen.
Yeah.
I've actually got it. The film's called Fish Tank.
No, Fish Tank is another film.
Ah, right, that's the one I'm talking about with his brother.
Fish Tank's brilliant. Fish Tank's with what's his name? The guy who played the superheroes.
Oh no, but Billingham's film was called Fish Tank.
Oh right, okay.
I think maybe it's a one that you haven't seen.
Okay.
But it's a really rare early one that he done with his documenting his dad and his brother and stuff.
Okay.
And then he focuses on a fish tank in the flat, and the fish swimming around. And it's always stuck in my head, and I need to get in touch with Richard Billingham, because he actually come to Newcastle, right? And I was wanting to interview him. He was coming down to the Tyneside. And as we talked off camera about pompous art institutions, Gwen, and the kind of didn't refuse, but they weren't too forthcoming about me meeting up with Richard, you know. And I thought, well, what's it got to do with you?
Yeah.
What has it got? Has it got anything to do with you? What Richard Billingham does and what I do? I mean, it's got nothing to do with an institution from Newcastle. So I didn't even pay them any mind, and I thought I expected the knockback, you know, because he was doing a talk in a place in town, and they weren't very forthcoming about anyone coming down and chatting to him, and I thought I expected that answer anyway, but I must have had something on, Gwen, because I won't let anyone put us off when I'm really want to do something, and I just thought the complete snobbery. I mean, if you looked at the guy's work, you would actually see that, you know, he's so anti-establishment.
Yeah.
You're kind of protecting him from everything he probably can't stand.
Yeah.
And it's like, what an absolute mess. But yeah.
I hope you managed to chat with him, because he did like in Derby, he had something at the Quad Gallery there, and he was basically, he was there, he went to see it himself, and just apparently very humble guy, you know.
I need to hook up with him. I need to chat to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, though, but incidentally as well, just on a side note, when I was at university, I made a film, Whitehouse Road.
Great film, Cliff.
Oh, thanks.
Great film.
I'm gonna keep trying to plug this film.
Great film. Yeah.
And then I done that when I was at. I actually done that film in my final year, under Robert Jefferson and Noel McLaughlin, and I mean, I just didn't do the film because I got help with the editing as well, because I didn't know how to edit then, and a friend of mine, Graham Temple Sowerby, he actually edited the film, but on my instruction, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So basically, what it was, I mean, there's a string to this. I will get to it. I actually I shot the film on a like a Betamax, like I can't think of the name of the camera now, but it was an old tape, kind of like a VHS tape style VHS camera, and so I made the edits on 2 VHS tapes. So I had one, I recorded on a VHS tape, and I had one VHS recorder, and then I had another VHS recorder where I would hook them up, and I would play the film, and then I would record it. I would record bits of the footage on another VHS recorder, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And then I gave all the footage to Graham, and he edited the film, which I don't know how he done it, because it was absolutely hours and hours of footage. And then I didn't realise that someone else had done this, obviously years before me, called Richard Billingham. And then my lecturer says, you know, you should check out, Robert Jefferson says, you should check out the artist Richard Billingham, because your photographs are a lot like what he's done with his mum, dad, Ray and Liz. And I actually photographed my granddad exactly the same but and he was in ill health and he was passing away, you know, and I was kind of documenting him in his last few months, and I took a few shots, just like, again, exactly the same as Richard on a Boots camera, just a camera. You walk into Boots, you buy a camera, you're not bothered about exposure or external lights or nothing. And then I just, you know, start shooting me granddad, watching the TV. But what happened was, I've learned a lot from there, because I got the photographs processed, and one thing it's kind of never happened to us, like, ever since, where I was with a friend of mine in town called Rick, and if he's watching this, he'll kind of back us up on this. But I probably think he didn't even notice, because I processed the shots, I got them out, and I was walking down Northumberland Street, and I burst out laughing, but I burst out crying at exactly the same time. And it was such a surreal moment that I had shot someone close to death, virtually like wasting away. And I burst out laughing and I burst out crying at exactly the same time. And my mate like kind of looked at it, he's like, "Oh, yeah, all right." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, just," and I put the photographs away, because I kind of didn't want him to see them as well. And I took them home. I looked through them again. Didn't know what to make of them. And then I threw them away. Mm-hmm. I threw the shots away, and I've never done it since. And then I told my lecturer this, because this was a whole premise for Whitehouse Road. And I says, I had these shots and my granddad was going to back it all up, but I ended up throwing them away. And he says, you should check out this guy. And I learned a valuable lesson there from Richard, is have confidence in your work. And this, being a photographer and being an artist, if you haven't got the confidence, you will fall at the final hurdle, you know. And I'm just so glad I've done it quite early on, but I made a promise to myself, I'll never do that again, where I didn't have the confidence to go through with these shots, because I was scared of people looking at them saying, "Oh, we don't want to see them," because I didn't think anyone would want to see these apart from myself. And obviously I was telling Robert Jefferson, he was like dismayed that I threw them away, absolutely shocked. And I was so gutted for myself, like how could you be so fucking stupid to throw the most valuable thing, the most valuable person that's ever been in your life, and you've went and threw it away. So I kind of wrestled with that for a few years, couldn't get my head around why I had done it, and I realised that I just didn't have the confidence to go through with them shots. And Richard, the difference was, Richard Billingham did, albeit he was a bit older than me, and he looked like he was from a very similar background. But the point is, he had the bottle to go all the way, and I didn't.
I don't know, Cliff, like, why did you chuck them away? Like, what was the reason you threw them away? Was it out of, like, did you feel guilt for taking them?
Guilt.
Yeah.
I was kind of a bit ashamed that. Yeah. I was ashamed that I had taken these, because it was like, like the old American Indians didn't want the photograph taken because they said, it would take away your soul. And obviously not all of them thought like that, because there is like excellent shots of them, but I thought I was stealing something from him, like stealing his dignity.
Yes.
Stealing his pride, because he was like a very proud person. Yeah. And he just looked like this little person, this little frail person now, and I was documenting it. But I didn't know what I was doing. You see, I was trying to find myself. I was trying to find myself as a photographer, as an artist, and I think maybe because at the time as well I was only young, and with me granddad being a black person back then, it was like no one wanted to see black people then on photographs like that. Nobody was interested. That's how I felt, and especially in university, nobody wants to see it. And as soon as if you get over that little hump in your mind to think it's all bullshit, that just crack on with what you're doing. I kind of broke through the like the glass ceiling, you know. I broke through it. I broke through it with a horrible attitude that was put on me by other people. If that makes sense, Gwen. I mean, we're getting into it now. We're getting quite deep, but I think what I'm trying to say is I chucked the photographs away. I learned a valuable lesson that I didn't have the confidence to do it, to go through with it. I went to university, explained this, but then because an idea is just a great idea is just an idea, Gwen. If you haven't got the execution, it's basically useless. And I think that's what I learned. And then that gave us the confidence and ambition to really go ahead with this film, Whitehouse Road. And I thought, I'm gonna make this right now, because I was only young, Gwen, when I took the shots in the first place, but it kind of didn't matter to me. I was only about 17. I think I was about 17 when I took the shots. Fast forward to uni, and I thought, I'm gonna make this right, and I'm gonna put him up there like he should have been put up there with those shots, and I think I was the first person to hire like a black actor in the whole history of the course, and I thought it's so unusual to say now. It's like, oh, you hired a black actor, so what? But back then, Gwen, it was like nobody hires a black actor, because you can't get one for your budget. I mean, your budget was basically nothing, and you're not supposed to pay actors anyway, and I kind of broke the rules. I deliberately broke the rules, you know, to hire this black actor called Coyd. He was called Coyd from Scotland. Coyd Sampson. What a name. But you didn't actually think that was my granddad there, did you, Gwen? Did you?
No.
Did you think it was my granddad, or did you know it was an actor?
I thought, yeah, I thought it was an actor. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like it'd be cut together with like archive footage.
Oh yes.
You know, it had that look to it. I thought it was brilliant. I loved it. I thought the narrative was amazing over it. And what your tutor said about it being a character study, that is, for me, that's what I got from that film. Just from the word go. What's it? They say, kind of. Thinking at the beginning of the film, is it Cliff? No Irish.
Oh, no Irish, no blacks, no dogs.
No dogs. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that shit was real, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Gwen. I mean, I went off there talking about Whitehouse Road, but it's, you know, it's a special thing, and I know that you've just recently watched it, and I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I really did.
Just wanted to share that with you. Now, same on the subject, Gwen, of films. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Is there a film a part of a film that you can't watch, or scared of, or you'll make the excuse to say, oh, I'm just going to make a cup of tea, I can't watch this bit. Is there a film out there that kind of disturbs you? Any film?
Thinking probably anything now, Cliff, like to do with hurting animals, probably, to be fair. Like, right. Things like there was like this, I don't know if anyone else has seen this film. you seen Hounds of Love? Have you heard of that film?
Helms of Love.
Hounds of Love.
Hounds of Love.
Yeah.
I've definitely heard something like that.
Made by Ben Young.
Oh, am I thinking of Kate Bush?
It's brilliant. One of my favourite films. But there's that scene, scene with the dog, and I just can't kind of watch that. But,
what happens, Gwen?
Hounds of Love is about a couple, and they're called the Burnies, and they were a killer couple in Australia, and Ben Young made this film about. It's about not directly about them, but about but it's kind of like loosely it's based around this couple in Perth, Australia, that's basically took this person called Kate Noir, took her hostage. So it's a hostage film, and Emma Booth stars in it. Stephen, I've forgotten his surname, plays the guy, and it is brilliant film.
Wow.
Hounds of Love.
What happens to the dog? Do they do something to the dog?
Yeah, Lola does not survive.
Right.
So close your eyes. I mean, when that happens with Lola.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Spoilers. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Give us a second. I'm just going to briefly browse through this.
Okay.
Richard Avedon book. Basically, it's just here.
Just having a quick boat. Yeah. Hey, Moo. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, what an amazing book.
Can you see it?
I can see it.
So, this is Evidence 1944-1994.
Wow.
Richard Avedon, and I've actually drew on it and I've just kept it, but and basically that's a young Richard Avedon there at the back, and he shot some amazing people. He actually shot Charlie Chaplin.
Oh wow!
Can you see that, Gwen, from there?
Okay, Mo.
Actually, that's him, and then I'm just going to get
got a great face.
I'm just going to get to some of the.
Yeah.
This is the back one where he's shown all of the shots. 2 seconds. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of story in there, but stuff like this is like I was quite influenced by this kind of work.
Okay.
Just like the really close up. Do you know? He kind of reminds me of Richard Parr. Is it Richard Parr?
Oh,
Martin Parr.
Martin Parr, yeah.
He kind of
yeah.
And then he does this.
Yeah.
I mean, whoa! I still got bookmarks in there that I just flew out. And this kind of nomads that were, do you know, like on the American like frontier kind of thing. And Ways and Strays, he kept shooting, and then what's it? But it's just I mean, he was a fashion photographer as well.
Yeah.
Oh, these are the ones, Gwen.
Yeah.
Where he actually went into the institution.
Goodness gracious me!
And then he was just getting people coming up to him and.
Wow.
You know, like looking at them quite blankly, but...
Yeah, really powerful, mate, seeing that picture.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there should be... And then I'm going to see if I can put... I'll pull this out, Gwen, over here, because it's like a double page, like a triple page.
Yeah.
And then, so, this one here, I'll be able to pick this up. So you've got, like... It looks like he's photographed a wedding, and then it's like you'll be able to see this, Gwen, when you watch this back, but it actually folds out to like 1, 2, 3,
Nice,
4.
nice. I remember that. Yeah.
Can you see it? Well, you'll not be able to see that, Gwen. Can you see it?
Move that. No, but I can see. But I can see it now. I know what you mean.
You
by
see that, Gwen?
Yeah.
It's. I've never seen that.
Great photo.
I've actually never seen that before.
Okay.
To pull out like a 4-page pull out.
Wow.
We should do that in Peep or something. Do something like that. But that's like really, really nice. And I just wanted to share a bit of Richard Avedon with you.
Yeah, brilliant, mate.
And, I've got a lot of. I kind of gave.
Yeah.
I gave away where I acquired the book there. I'm just going to put it where.
What?
I gave away where I actually acquired the book.
Where did you acquire it?
Oh, I can't say, Gwen, because they'll come knocking on the door. And they'll say, "Well,
the library, I've still got a book. Oh dear,
yeah.
I've had it for 5 years. I think 10.
It's yours.
I've got a £10,000 fine on it now.
Consider it yours."
Yeah.
But Gwen, it's been absolutely brilliant chatting to you.
Yeah, you too.
It's been absolutely a few years, and I feel like I know you even more now. And but we've been keeping in touch for all these years, and I think we're starting to make a bit of ground now with a lot of diverse work, you know.
Yeah.
So Gwen's going to be heavily featured in the next issue. Oh, Gwen, just let we touch on because the next issue will be out very soon, and it's called All City, Peep Magazine All City. That will be issue 20, and Gwen's shot is going to be on the front cover, and then the article in there, which I call now is mega narratives. Like Gwen produces these mega narratives, and it's called Peep Lonely Hearts Club.
Yeah, so, Peep Lonely Hearts Club. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gwen, could we maybe touch on that a bit, because obviously we'll not give too much away because the lot's going to go in the next magazine, but the person on the front cover is I'm going to blast this up as well, Gwen, because I think I sent this over to you a while ago now.
Yeah.
And could you maybe talk us through this girl on the front cover, this interesting girl with the hairstyle and whatnot? Yeah.
So like way back when, this is back in London time, I used to go to a club, and I'd take my camera there, and I met this person there, and I would just take my camera, Cliff, and then a dialogue starts, start a connection with someone, and then I took her photo, and she was just, it was just that lovely connection there. Took a photo, and we were meant to spend Christmas together. We'd arranged to do that, and but I got scared and didn't do it. Ran away, and when people send you a message and you're just scared, mate. So you just don't communicate back or cancel it, and that's what happened. And so I don't know where that person is now, So yeah, but it was that moment. So that kind of Lonely Heart starts from there, and then it's a kind of, maybe that style of photos kind of changed now, because now what's happened in life is I've had experiences that have shaped different things with my journey. So we go from that. And are you putting in some of those? Are you putting in the photos of the hospital in there?
I don't think you sent those, Gwen. Hospital ones.
The ones, kind of. So there's those. I think I sent those through. Those are the ones that taken recently, with the person with the hands holding the hands up, No.
Oh yes. I think I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of those shots. So Lonely Hearts. Okay, so basically, Lonely Hearts starts with it's an internal dialogue. It is an internal dialogue, which is part of where I've kind of what has happened to me, and that dialogue and narrative of actually someone who's like lost their mind, and become incredibly kind of not well in my mental well-being. So I think that's the narrative through that, maybe, because I wrote it all down from that experience recently, and then that's where Lonely Heart starts from, and this sort of a loneliness, really, made like kind of try and have connections with people, but then having a wandering dialogue with and then losing that connection with myself, and becoming very unwell. So that'll be but that hopefully to raise awareness, essentially, for people to be careful out there, and to be careful, look after yourselves, and just be mindful of stuff, and not to not just to raise awareness for people that are also for kind of might have kind of students that watch this, and for them to be able to speak out about their environments, and to be able to start a conversation, really, because when you show the Richard Avedon shots, I've just been to a place like that, and and met people that have been detained, and because essentially that's what happened to me. So I took photos on my phone of patients, and I was just chatting to someone who's there at the moment, and these are kind of really, really talented, creative people that are sensitive, as your tutor says, that are sensitive to their environments, and really say sensitive to environments and experiences. So that being the most one of being very sensitive to experiences. I think creative people are incredibly sensitive people, and just to raise awareness for that conversation to start. For people not to feel ashamed of their environments or experiences, and it's okay to start talking about them, really, and be mindful, of addictions out there. It's one way to lose your mind. Some things don't help people. You know what I mean. People can look for an escape, and it's difficult to sit with uncomfortable feelings. And for people to just, it's better to work collaboratively. People to. Creative people to help people, creative people to help creative people, I think. That's why Peep's so good.
Oh, thanks, Gwen. Thanks.
Great.
Well, with your help, of course.
No.
Because because
Cliff, you take the time to look at people's stuff, you take the time to communicate with people, and that's all people need, someone to take a look at stuff and be positive about, constructive about work, and offer a platform. So yeah.
I mean that was one of the reasons for people when we come up with the idea of Peep is we'll create this online magazine. I mean, it's formed into lots of other different things now, but essentially it's still, I want it to be that platform for people not to go to the institutions in Newcastle, because you'll get knocked back. You'll get knocked back straight at the door as soon as they hear your regional accent, and unfortunately, but that shouldn't deter you, because them, I hate to be too strong, but those people are already in their own hell, and you've just got to let them be there, because
the people in the institutions?
I mean, absolute waste of time, and then other people creating like local magazines and whatnot. When I first came about, I contacted them all, and not one of them were interested in my work.
Oh my God! What, the magazines you contacted?
Yeah. And that's how I thought I'm going to start something up myself, because and then I'm gonna get so big, I'm gonna consume you. Yeah. But obviously I'm joking, but the point is that they didn't want to give me the time of day. They weren't interested, and I thought, so how do I get my work out? If all the local magazines and institutions aren't really bothered about us, I kind of can just go away and curl up in a ball and throw my stuff away, then get on with a more conventional job. But I was like, nah, this is not happening, man, because I'm worth more than that.
Yeah.
And then this is where we're on now, So
that's the way to do it. Start it up. I feel like that. You try to contact places, they don't contact you back.
Yeah.
They
it's like you're begging them for them to look at your work. It's like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, talking about work, with I've just looked at some of your friends' work. Amanda.
Yes, Amanda.
Some really, really nice
Amanda
work
Smith,
on there.
Really great.
So
really
I'd love to.
I'd
love to start. Putting some of her work in there, because I think she's got a lot of. There's a lot of talent in there, and it's like a nice eye. She's got a nice eye for construction and whatnot. It's really, really good. And there was one piece on there. It was, I can't think of the name, but a subtext about shoes. Yeah. And I just thought it was really
beautiful,
witty and sharp, and just like a kind of a dialogue going about, you look at a guy's shoes, and if he's wearing crap shoes, that kind of says it all. And some other guy says, I was told if you wear shiny shoes, you'll get on in life, or something like that, he says. And he says, it's absolute crap. I mean, it doesn't happen, but I thought that was a really nice piece, and I'd love to put that on the platform, like on the peep platform. Be great.
Yeah, really talented. She's a really talented artist from Nottingham, and we met in Nottingham Trent Uni, and met over our love of film. One for the Road, which is a great independent film, Nottingham film, and her final piece, her final degree show, was out of this world. Really amazing. Wow. It's on there. It's on her channel.
Vimeo.
Yeah, it's on a Vimeo.
Yeah, I've watched it.
Up that to see it. Very powerful work.
Brilliant, man. We're going to make it work, definitely.
Cool.
Gwen, it's been really cool to chat to you finally. Obviously, we've been chatting for years off camera via emails and text messages and LinkedIn messages. But finally, we're back in touch. You're sending work. You're a massive part of Peep Magazine, and thanks for the contributions, and let the great work continue.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Thanks, Gwen. Thanks for your time.
Nice, Cliff.
And
thanks a lot. Thanks for taking the time out, and thanks for putting the work out. So So yeah.
Cheers, Gwen. Thanks a lot, and I'll be in touch soon, and I'll send that copy down to you.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Because you kind of need that hard copy.
Yeah.
You know, it's essential, isn't it? Really.
Oh.
But if people want to see Gwen's work, Gwen, have you got a website?
No.
Oh,
and I've closed down all social media sites. So
right.
I'm just losing my mind.
I'm just thinking, Gwen, is it cool to see your email address in case anyone wants to contact you?
Yeah, definitely put the Peep one on there.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to contact Gwen about commissions or work that the want, photography work, documentary work, you can get in touch with Gwen at peep-magazine.co.uk. And she's even got her own Peep email. So
I've got Peep email. I'm going to come up there, Cliff, and just come up for a cup of tea.
Yeah, definitely, man.
You know, yeah.
But if you want to see Gwen's work, she's heavily profiled in the localism issue, which you can get on the website. That's www.peep.Ltd, or you can go to issue.com. That's ISSW.com, and then just type in peep-magazine.co.uk, and then all the issues should come up, and then it'll be the latest issue that Gwen's heavily featured, and so if you want to really check out the work and read about what she's been experiencing for all these years, I think it's a really nice read, and check it out, man. Just go on and check it out, have a look, have a read, tell us what you think of it. But thanks, Gwen. Thanks a lot.
Cheers,
it's been really great chatting to you, and I shall speak to you very soon, and expect a couple of cards to be winging down, plus the issue as well.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Gwen.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, Cliff.
Take care, man.
Take care.
See ya.
See you, mate.